everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today I am going to talk to you about being a mature woman and still having breakouts. Wrinkles and pimples are not my favorite combination for skin, and so I've been trying to do something about my breakouts in the last few months that is really sort of counterintuitive to what the acne and pimple clearing culture currently is, because it's mainly focused on kids. Kids are the ones who have the horrible acne and the horrible breakouts, and their skin can take harsh drying chemicals. But once you get to be, 45, 50, in my case 50 years old, and you're still breaking out, I felt like, gosh, is there some other way to tackle this? Because I was using all kinds of things that were drying my skin to fight my breakouts. But at the same time, I'm also using all kinds of wrinkle serums that are also fairly drying and irritating to my skin. So I felt like it was kind of like the double whammy, where I wasn't really doing the right things for my skin. So I have tried to stop my breakout cycle and treat my skin in a much kinder and gentler way. I just wanted to talk to you today because I have broken out a bit, and this was caused by one of the foundations that I was testing. But I just wanted to talk to you today about how I've changed my skincare routine to avoid some things like this, and what to do to, when you do have the occasional breakout, to fight it in a way that isn't even more damaging to your skin. Okay, so the first step in the process of getting my skin to not be on a constant roller coaster of drying and then overcompensating, producing more oil to overcompensate for the drying face washes that I was using. So because I was breaking out and because I am a sucker for the marketing, for years I had been using this Olay Total Effects 7-in-1 anti-blemish, anti-aging face wash. Now this is fine. I think, up until you're about 40, 45, I was using this. It's good. It contains salicylic acid, which can be very drying to your skin, but I was using it because their commercials were like, got wrinkles and pimples, and I was like, yes, I do! So I started using that. And I'm sure it was probably a better choice than using something like Clarisonic or face washes that are specifically geared towards teenagers and people in their early 20s who, really have bad acne. That stuff is super drying. So this is probably less drying and a better choice if you're middle-aged. So it was a drying face wash because number one, it foamed up, so it contained detergents, and number two, it contained salicylic acid, which is very drying. So it would strip away the moisture barrier on my face, leaving my skin to then have to go into double overtime production with oils, right? So then my skin would be like, oh my God, so dry, make oil, make oil. And then I'd put some makeup on top of it, pores would get clogged, bam, big zit, right? So I constantly had one or two pimples going. It's not like I ever had bad acne, but at my age, really, I want to be walking around with like a giant volcano over here. I really don't. So that was step one, was to change my cleansing process. So what I've switched to now is the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. All right, this contains no acids and really no detergents. It doesn't strip away the moisture barrier when I wash my face. This on its own is not going to get your makeup off, but the combination of this with the magic tool, this really gets my face clean. So with these two, I can get my face just as clean, if not cleaner, than with like a foaming face wash. All right, so this one's super calm and gentle, and then this is also can be very gentle. This is the Clarisonic Mia 2. It retails for about $150. Now, it's an expensive little appliance, but I have to say it has changed my skin for the better. It does not scrub in a circular motion, it just vibrates. Between the two of these products, I feel like my face now is so much cleaner than it ever has been. And this, because it vibrates, it almost is like a trampoline, and bounces all the junk right out of your pores. So my pores are so clean, they're not clogged overnight. I only use it once a day at night. So they're clean and can breathe overnight, and all I have to do is moisturize and put on my wrinkle cream. And then I am ready to go to bed. When I wake up in the morning, I use just another very mild cleanser for skin calming that also doesn't strip the moisture barrier. And so my skin doesn't have to go into that overdrive of producing oils, and my pores are much less clogged. Now, for the purposes of today, I have a couple of nice pimples. I got this one is actually going away. I wish I had filmed this 2 days ago when it was like, wah. It had a whole life of its own. It was practically talking. And now I have another little one over here and another little one over here. Step 2 that I wanted to talk about is how you treat a pimple once it starts coming to the surface. All right, so like this one over here is just a little baby one that started yesterday. So normally what I would have done in the olden days is I would have run to the cabinet and pulled out one of these products. This is Neutrogena. They're both Neutrogena. I thought one of them was a Oxy, but whatever. This is the on the spot acne treatment. This one is supposed to be a little gentler and clear up the mark that it leaves behind faster. But I've got to say, now that my skin is 50 years old, it heals so slowly. And these things are so drying, and it's hard to get it just on the pimple. You always end up spreading it like around it, and then the skin around there gets so dry. So again, with these, I'm back into the cycle of over drying, and then, excuse me, you know, my skin can never catch up. Especially in these areas here and here which is traditionally where I always got pimples. I use so many of these over the years that this is like permanently sort of wrinkled up from all the excessive drying that I did to it with these guys over the years. And I wish that they had some of these products earlier. They just didn't exist then. So now, instead of going to one of these drying products when I see that I'm getting a pimple, isn't technology great? I run for this guy. Tanda makes one called the Tanda Zap. I bought this one for my daughter for Christmas. This is called BrightTherapy, and I will actually get it right side up for you this time, which I seem to never be able to do in my videos. I'm always showing the products upside down. Anyway, this is light therapy for your pimple. It goes through this beeping routine. It takes 2 minutes. I don't want to take that amount of time, but it warms up, and then once it does, it shines a little blue light out here, and then for 2 minutes you just hold the little blue light on your blemish. All right, so if you get to your blemish within the first day, before it, you know, boils up and has like a head on it, this will pretty much make it like go away in 2 days time. So instead of the thing like coming up to a volcano, erupting, you're picking at it, you're treating it with the creams, then it has to go down. It's like a 2-week process. Then with my skin being so slow to heal, I have the mark from any pimple that I get for months afterwards. And I've tried the dark spot correctors. Okay, so now it's beeping. So on the second beep, you just turn it on, and I just wanted to show you. There's the blue light. And so on this one, you just hold it there. And it just goes through this cycle of beeping for 2 minutes. It does get quite warm, and sometimes I have to like lift it away because I feel like I'm burning my face. But this thing is great. Unfortunately, I didn't get to this one in time, and so that's why this one came to a head and became a big volcano. The batteries were dead on this. So I couldn't get out to the store to get a battery, I don't know, within the first day. So there I am, giant volcano. So yeah, it gets pretty darn hot, and so sometimes I'll just pull it away and then put it back, or not press it so firmly. I'm not going to go through the whole 2-minute cycle for you, but that is that. This again, because it's a technological product, was not inexpensive, but this wasn't expensive either. I'm not sure about the price on the Tanda Zap, but this one I want to say was about $35 maybe, and I got it on Amazon. All right, so that is step 2 of the change of my pimple treating process. And so then step 3 of the change is how I cover up my pimple once I get it. On the rare occasion that I do still get one, I used to use Revlon Color Stay Blemish Concealer. So this also has salicylic acid in it. So again, another drying product. So I would be piling on the drying products, and it would dry up the zit, but it would take it still, like I said, 2 weeks to really go away, and it would still do its thing. It's like these things all made them angrier and bigger and redder, so that when I didn't have makeup on it, you know, it looked worse. So what I do now is I have a very similar product, but this does not have any acid in it. And for me, it stays in place better. So what I've been using lately is my Smashbox Eye Makeup Primer. Okay, so this is also has sort of a flesh tone tint to it. And it's a primer, and so its main job is to sit on your eyelids, which are fairly oily, and to make your eye makeup stay in place. So I thought, wow, if this can sit on my oily eyelid and look sort of nice and dry and matte, maybe it could do the same thing for my pimple. And guess what? It does. So I think this is great. So now what I do to cover up my pimples is I just use a little of this. And so this has a lovely little doe foot wand. I just take it and dab it on there. This is very old and dry, and so it's almost out. And then I just blend it a little bit with my finger. Like that. And I use this over my whatever I have on my face that day, my foundation or my powder. Put that on top. And then I'm good to go. You can't see my pimple anymore. It stays set all day, so I don't have to be touching it up all the time. It's little enough that if you do feel like you need to touch it up, you can just throw it in your purse. There are other eyelid primers that I don't think would work for this. I have the Too Faced eyelid primer. That one is too slippery. It has too much silicone in it. And there's a couple others that I have, like obviously the MAC paint pot. They wouldn't work for this, but this one really does. So if you are unfortunate enough to be like me and be pimple prone in your wrinkly years, then maybe this different routine could work for you as well. I feel like this is much better. My skin has responded very well to it. I've broken the cycle of drying and then lots of oil production. So it's working out great for me, and I hope it can work for you. So as always, thank you for watching and have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.